James David Shook, the day of his birth. Thanksgiving 1978, a very pregnant Mama Shook went from Kentucky to Tennessee to celebrate Thanksgiving with Grandmama and Grandpa Brown. Her little family of three always had joyous times with their Tennessee kinfolk. Uncle Roy always had special surprises ready when they arrived. He knew little David liked playing with Hot Wheel cars and snacking on club crackers or warm popcorn. Grandmama had carefully planned holiday meals for her large extended family. Her dining room table was filled with delicious country cooking. This was a great holiday weekend for her entire family. On Sunday morning, everyone except pregnant Mama, little David, and Grandmama Brown went to church at St. Valley Missionary Baptist Church. Sunday lunch included a birthday cake for Dad Shook, who was 30 years old and who was anxiously awaiting for the birth of their second child. After lunch, he loaded the car and drove back to their Kentucky home at Clear Creek Baptist College. Early Monday morning, Grandpa and Grandmama Brown took Mama Shook and little David to her doctor's appointment with Doctors Gordon, Ruffin, and Hillman in the professional building near Memorial Hospital in downtown Johnson City. They thought it might be a week or two before baby arrival day, but Grandmama predicted it was very close now. That early Monday morning appointment was with Dr. Hillman, and he said, "Go to the hospital and check in because the baby is ready now. You will be holding your baby really soon, and I'll see you both around 5 today." Dr. Ruffin was at the hospital that morning taking care of the new mothers. Little David stayed in the maternity waiting room with Grandmama and Grandpa Brown while Mama was prepared for delivery. Soon Uncle Roy arrived with toy cars for little David. He created a pretend world on the table and they played. Of course, Dad Shook was in a college classroom when the call came announcing it's baby day now. He called his parents, Papa and Granny Shook in Burdine, Kentucky. They all arrived in time for the birth of little David's baby brother, James David Shook. Granny and Papa Shook brought a Mickey Mouse for little David. 47 years later, he still has that stuffed toy. For 46 years, James' family celebrated his birthday, usually with just the little family of 5. Mama, Dad, little David, James, and baby sister Elizabeth. For 46 years and 10 months, his family enjoyed James' happy smile, joyous spirit, and big warm hugs. James and David bonded so closely that they sensed each other's thoughts and delighted in spending time together, which was sometimes all day and later sometimes just an hour or two. James was a kind and protective big brother for Elizabeth. He always encouraged her music, both piano and voice. In 2008, James married Callie Cloud and his family expanded. 2 years later, his lovely baby girl, McKinley Grace Shook, was welcomed into James' now complete Shook family. James was a wonderful husband and father. He followed the examples he had seen in his grandfathers and in his father, James studied the Bible and followed the teachings of Christ Jesus. He showed love and forgiveness. He gave unselfishly to his family. James willingly became a servant. Wherever he went and whatever was happening in his life, he always made time to call home and talk with his mama. He loved sharing what God was doing in his life. James knew her tender love for him was forever and ever. He truly respected his dad, and they shared spiritual nuggets learned along life's way. James would tell him about work projects and church events. Of course, Dad and Mama depended on James for frequent updates on McKinley Grace as she grew and developed. He joyously shared her life with them, even in little ways. James opened his heart and life so they would continue to feel included in his world. James always had improvement projects at home, and he made his house better and better with each new one. His love of animals continued throughout the years. He had several dogs, beginning with his little Eskimo Spitz puppy when James was a very young boy. Each dog he owned was treated very special and had a welcome place in his home. James appreciated the beautiful flowers, trees, and other wonderful plants God created. He studied so he could nurture them well. Plus, he was given a special natural ability. Other master gardeners advised him, and he mentally stored their information to improve his work. He was familiar with almost every local plant and its needs. Hydrangeas, lilies, roses, lavender, tulips, and too many other beauties to name flourished in his care. God allowed James to work with plants and gave him great delight, plus a sense of accomplishment as he helped them live and grow. Through the years, James had just about every kind of car, starting with his first car, a Toyota Tercel that he bought from the local librarian. He owned Honda, Audi, Subaru, Ford, Acura, Buick, Dodge, Honda, Toyota, Chevrolet. He had cars, vans, SUVs, and trucks. He became a pretty good shade tree mechanic, able to do most of his own maintenance and some repairs. Of course, he never tooted his own horn and would readily tell of the mistakes he made along the way. People loved his stories because he was real and he genuinely loved to share his life with others. His joy and enthusiasm were catching. You would feel lifted up after talking with him. God gave him special gifts which ministered to others. Pastor Steve Brockwell saw this and included James in all facets of the church work at God's filling station. Later, James served as a deacon at the Mountain View Baptist Church. Undoubtedly, his greatest delight was his daughter McKinley Grace, who was beautiful, smart, and talented. A smile or laugh from her warmed James' heart and made hours of hard work worthwhile. He did everything he knew to make her life as close to perfect as he could. Cooking, cleaning, washing clothes, shopping, planning trips, and 1,000 other things were done with love because James wanted her to never lack any good thing. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. James David Shook.